So these are just to hold all of it up, to suspend it. We got a nice grid down in there. It's gonna work out good. So he got the cement poured here on the little mooring block that we're building. Well, I'm wanting to moor my boats out, and I'm making a mooring blocks to put out there. And not only for mooring the boats, but also for putting up the floats and holding them in place for our little floats that have to mark our swim area. Now, the local Coast Guard, they want us to have a defined swim area out there with the floats. You can swim outside of that, but it's a regulation of us as a resort. And the problem is the local fishermen down the beach from us at the next barangay, they are taking the last time we put floats out and chopped our lines into, because they like to pull nets there and they like to drive their boat through there. Now, the fact is they don't have to do that, and we're such a small area they can work around us. The same as they work around all the other resorts down through. They have to do the same thing, you know, there's on each side of them. So just a cantankerous old man over there, we seen him putting up his workers to doing it even when they didn't want to. They were shaking their heads no. He's yelling at them to do it anyway. But he has been spoke to and will be spoken to again if he pulls anything again, like chopping them all up like he did the last time. Maybe he just thought that, you know, we're just individuals blocking it and didn't realize that we were a business. So, and that it's the Coast Guard making the rules. Actually, I like it just clean without all of it, but I'm on his side. But by Coast Guard rules, we have to have that up. So we want to get it back up, and they're aware right now that there was a local that chopped all of our work up, so we got to redo it. We lost our floats. We saw kids running everywhere with our floats. Yep, because he chopped it up into a jillion pieces. All right, well, anyway, aside of that, I'm going to put these mooring blocks out there that I can moor the boats on, one on each side of the swim area. And I've got the hardware for that. I've got a lot of stuff here for mooring out. Went and bought yesterday stainless chain for my Sea Ray boat, different eyes and hooks, and hardware is all in here. It's big swivel, nice big swivel here and all. So all that's for my Sea Ray, and like I say, there's numerous pieces in here, and I'm also going to have one for the banca. So I'm going to take these two pails and make them as floats up above. I'm going to fit this pipe through, and then what I'm going to do is, with the pipe inside in there, I'm going to take styrofoam that I have here, closed cell foam that won't absorb the water, and I've got some big chunks I can cut and fit in here, and then I'm going to finish it off by filling the voids with this great stuff right here. I need to use this up anyway. It's going to lose its pressure in these cans and get stopped up. In fact, the last ones we tried to use were pretty hard to use, so it's a great chance for me to use this stuff up also, and that'll fill in the little air voids in there around the blocks of styrofoam that I'm going to put in here. Then I'm going to seal the lid back down on it, and then I'll take and cut the pipe to fit off right even at the lid up in there, maybe up just about ½ inch or so. And I'm going to take my torch and flute that out, and the same thing on the bottom. I'm going to flute it out so the rope don't chaff on that. So got my hole saw on here, and this is a brand new drill I just bought yesterday, so that'll be its virgin moment right here. Virgin moment. Let's pull the trigger, see if she powers up. Wow, really nice to have a new drill. I told them do not take this drill out there to the work site, just only when we install the doors and windows, anything particular, not skim coat paint and concrete all over it. Sound like I'm complaining? Perfecto. Perfecto mundo. And I'm building 2 of these, so might as well start drilling the other one at the same time. So that's the lid on that one. Flip it over. Do this good old ghetto style. Literally gluing them together. It gets hot. There you go, break apart. Of course, I just swept the garage up this morning, and good use for a pair of scissors. Now I'm making a mess in here again. Isn't that how it goes? All right. All right. So this will pass through. Oh, I say pass through, it did. It slid right on through. So, it's a scrap piece of pipe that was laying. Well, I'll be darned, it's going to hang the edge every time. That's funny. There we go. So I'll cut that bad part off right there, and I'll leave the rest of that and take my torch and heat it and flute it out. And then the same thing down here. So I got this big block of foam right here, which is just about right for this pail. Chop it down a little bit, and it reaches across pretty good. I can fill the gaps with that other foam, but I like to put a hole right in the middle of it. So I think I'll do is take a piece of rebar, get it super hot, and try to melt the hole all the way down through this thing. So I'm using a different camera, and I don't have a tripod to put this camera on, so meet tripod. Hello, tripod.
Hello, James. What can I do for you?
You can hold the camera today, tripod.
Okay.
Wow, do a good job. Hold it steady, tripod.
Sure, sir.
So I'm gonna try to melt the hole down through this. Just come right over here where it's better lighting. Huh? So I found this stainless steel scrap piece of pipe. Actually, I like this end better. It's got a nice long angle. I'm gonna try to heat that and use it to slice and melt down through this. stainless usually heats pretty good. You feel it? Hey, tripods are not supposed to complain.
Warning, warning.
Your perfect timing. Will you hold this block of foam while I try to shove this down through it? See if I can melt this in there. Just hold on to that foam. I'm going to shove this right down through. Hold it from the sides. Yeah, like that. So far, so good. So far, so good. Let me heat it again.
Okay, sir.
It's all right through?
Ay, magano. May ibo na lagyan.
Oh. One more. Ooh, that's hot. Hot. This time should do it. I think that's it. Yeah. Alright. Thanks, Tripod. Thanks, Mop Mop.
You're welcome, sir. No, you're welcome, James.
I see you. Pikachu. But it's hot in there, too. Alright. So then I'll just trim this.
I'm gonna be the AI, the same that you always talking.
The AI I'm talking to. Yeah, but there's a difference on it, though.
What's the difference?
That means artificial intelligence. I'm just not gonna say anymore. I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yes.
So I don't die in my sleep.
Yeah, okay.
So that worked out pretty good, and I got me a nice round hole, you see. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? So I'll be able to put that right over that pipe right there. So now all I need to do is trim down the sides of this foam right here, which is really easy to do. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and we'll shove it on down into the pail. So there we are. I took a hacksaw. It took literally 1 minute, no joke. Just ran right down this foam, shaved this all right off. Now I can just push this down. I might need to shave a little bit more off. I don't want to get that bucket out of round. Give me just a second. I do need to do a little bit more shaving. Hold on. Whew, what a mess I have. So my first attempt, I didn't account for the bucket gets smaller in the bottom. So I tapered it in, and I went ahead and cut it to height here also. So let's give it a shot again here. See what she does. There we go. Nice. Nice, nice. And I can take some of these scraps and put down in here in these voids and spray my can foam in. So I'll start from the bottom with the can foam and spray me a bead real quick in the bottom. Shove this foam down in there. Spray some of the sides, start shoving small pieces into that. If the spray foam will work. It's been sitting here for a while, and I bottled the last cans. Well, I stopped and improvised me a tripod. I do have a tripod in here, but it's not an interchangeable mount, and it's not the right kind of mount for this particular kind of camera. So I zip tied it to it. I took the selfie stick to this camera and zip tied it to the tripod. Hey, whatever will work. Whatever will work. I have a new camera on its way that should be here in the next couple of days. Hope we got a good view here. So let's see if this cam works or not. Let's see. So far it's a big no. Oh, there we go. I don't know what's happening here, but it's just blowing out a lot of pressure right now. I'm not getting the foam. I think I'm getting foam. I am. Not no large levels, but I am getting it. Use it like a glue in this pail for this new foam. Yeah, it should definitely be spraying harder than this. One of the things I have to watch out about is the alignment. I didn't check that. Did not check the alignment. If I can get it actually sealed down, snap back on. Tell you what, you cannot use that foam without getting it all over your body. You ever noticed that? It's like it's just a magnet to you. So and I need that void, the pipe over to that side, and then I'll fill that with foam through that hole. So we're continuing here with the mooring set up, and also have our like I say, our buoys tied off our swim area, so this can be dual purpose. Now the nice thing is out there at the shore, it's not like being out on a lake or something where you're gonna have currents pushing different ways. On the ocean, it's either gonna, here where we're at, it's either gonna be pushing a current east or a current west, but always coming in towards the shore. It's not really gonna push off the shore. So we got this set up, we got a knot through there. I heated this up, I flared it. I've got flag put on here with PVC cement, and we're gonna do some nylon stitching on it. It's out through the bottom right there. And we got our loop right here. This is some big heavy rope, as you see. And now we're making a place that's gonna go through that eye out there. I can just go ahead and probably wrap that with a whole bunch of electrical tape and to help hold that. And we'll move on to the next part. Make sure you got enough to do your weave down there. I gave you a little extra so you don't have to be so tight on it. Yeah, there you go. That'll work. So we'll put this through the eye out there on the mooring block. Right there, it rolled over. It rolled over here. Yeah, it took off on you. You said no, no, no. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Cool. Let's take it out there. Hey, cut those wires off so they don't snag the rope.
What's this one, sir?
Yeah, you can have that. I prepare Miller's lunch. These animals are evil, man. They get right on top of everything. The poop, man, right on top of the stones, anything. Your shoe. Yum, yum, yum.
Oh, wala nagiging pabilog-bilog ng punta ba?
Yan. Okay. Right na rin.
Okay.
Miller, kanan doon lahat.
Panaro to. What? Nice. Okay.
Uy, ka lang doy.
Hey, Miller, you go in the garage there in my toolbox, and I have a pressure gauge. Will you check the tire pressure? Huh?
Paul, bro, Paul.
Oh, it's full.
Yeah.
Also balance. Huh? No vibration.
Maybe sir, change din na green truck.
Saan yun?
Dra, ay tatlo.
Hit turbocharge.
Bugat ako na. Bugat ang ito. Hop. Pwede ka driver out.
Yeah, I have a load limit on the bridge. I've got it tied to that mooring block that we made, and where that diger board goes in it, that slot in the middle of the boat, I've got a heavy line run up through that and tied to the eye, and I'm letting the tide rise right now. When the tide changes, I will and drops down low, hopefully maybe tomorrow morning we're going to be able to carry that mooring out further, and there might even be a way that I might be able to do it with that little boat from underneath and up through where the diger board would come up through the middle of it, put a rope, catch the tide when it's low, get it right over the top of that mooring, put a rope up through where that diger board would go, put a piece of thick bamboo across the top of the boat with that rope, and then when the tide comes back in, it would lift up my mooring and I could just hand walk it out and drop it right in the spot that I wanted out there. So that is a possibility. More than one way to skin a cat, they say, you know. So anyway, that's what's happening with that. I had to pull a genius move. I needed to float that big mooring block, and that thing weighs several hundred pounds. Man, it is heavy. That's one of those big 33-inch all-terrain tires that was off my green truck. So imagine that whole thing, the whole space where the rim, everything goes, all solid concrete. Yeah, that wasn't like a little small car tire. That was a big tire. And we had it right here on the concrete, and we already had the mooring rope, the line coming up through it. And Mel and I, yesterday morning, stood that thing up on its side, and I just let it roll. It was low tide, and it rolled out there a ways until it fell over. And then today, I took my little dinghy boat here, and I knew the tide was coming in. We was low tide at 4:30 this morning, so I knew the tide be coming in. So as soon as the tide got over that tire and the eye bolt on the top of it, I put the boat over there and fed a rope where this diger boards go right here. I fed a rope through there, tied it onto that eye. There's the rope there. I tied it onto this block across there. And as the tide rose, it pulled the boat really tight. Finally, I got up in there and stacked these blocks on each side on that right there and pulled it up even tighter. When I got my weight out of the boat, plus that pulled so tight, there it was. It was the whole several 100-pound tire was floating up underneath this boat. And there's a sandbar out there a ways. So I had a really long line and took it out there to the sandbar, fed it through the eye up here on this boat, fed that long rope through that eye, went out there to the sandbar, and I got Marvin to hold the line on the sandbar, and I floated and drug the boat along the line, and then I'd have him to move left or right out there to where we get lined up here, and right off the down on the down slope on that sandbar, right where it bottoms out, we took the bolo, cut the rope, and it didn't like do no fast pop or boom or anything. It cut and just the boat just rose up nice and smooth, and the tire just dropped down and settled right in the bottom, and there she is. So that was a good move right there, man. We didn't have to do no heavy lifting or nothing. We let nature, buoyancy, and being smart, like with where that diger board goes, to bring that through. And she's out there now, floating right off out there around that salt water. I'm just gonna tell you, I had a very expensive boo-boo. A very expensive boo-boo. Yeah. There's Miller. Must be coming over to check the cows. So when I was working on the bonker boat one day out by the beach, and I was painting those blue stripes on the sides, I had the tripod setting up on the sand, not near the water, but it was up on the sand up on the shore. And I went to the other side of the boat to work, and that boat will pivot like this because you got those pontoons on each side. And so I pivoted it down this other side, and it caused the other pontoon, I didn't know the tripod was that close to it. It caused it to flip my tripod. Okay, well, that would have just made the camera fall over and fall in the sand. So that ain't what happened though. The camera flung loose off of there and flung loose right out into the edge of the water. Right into the salt water. Okay, well, I grabbed it lickety-split. But I wasn't like super concerned because it's supposed to be waterproof. It's supposed to be waterproof, so I was not super concerned. And I said, well, I need to get up there and get the salt rinsed off of it, and I'll take it up there and run some fresh water over it. Well, all of a sudden right there in my hand, it started tripping out, and I'm like, well, it wasn't even in the water for a whole 6 or 7 seconds, you know, and it wasn't in deep water. It was just, it barely even got in the water. What is going on, man? I'm like, no. And all of a sudden the camera went off. I'm like, oh, great. Well, it turns out that an area that's supposed to be sealed on that camera, I don't know if it's this hot weather over here in the Philippines or what, it had, even though that camera looked absolutely perfect, impeccable, because I really take care of my gear. Sounds like it when I'm flipping it in the sand and water. Accidents happen though, but I don't get like muck and paint and, you know, skim coat and epoxies and resins and all this stuff I'm working with. I don't get all that and grease and everything all over my cameras. I take care of them. And a seal come loose, and I didn't know that seal was loose, and water went directly inside the camera. Man. So I run in the garage, I take my air compressor, and I wanted to blow out as much as I could right then, dry it off as much as I can, but I mean, I'm a realist that I know salt got inside. Not good for electronics. And I wanted to recover all of my stuff off of it first. So before I mess with it with anything else, trying to rinse it out or anything. And I got all my files recovered off of it. And I cleaned it, and the camera still wouldn't work. It would say camera failed, camera failed. Well, I did a firmware update on it. And when I did a firmware update, which was like 4 or 5 days later, the camera came back. I'm like, woohoo! And the camera lasted for about 30 minutes and it went out again. And I've managed to get it randomly to come on once or twice since then. So that was that. And this camera here, I don't like to vlog with. I don't like the microphone on it, especially if I get out in the wind. It's really noisy. Right now I'm wearing the mic here. It's under my shirt. I don't like to have to wear a mic all the time. I want my other camera back that I really enjoyed the vlog with. And this camera here, I can't zoom with it. So it is what it is, and you're gonna have to, you know, if I wanted to bring it in closer, I would have to crop in editing. But if I want to zoom in like out there on that buoy on the water right now, normally I would zoom in and show you that buoy floating right out there. I don't have a zoom feature on this, and this is that DJI Action 4. It's got like a very limited zoom, and it's not like you got a button you can hit and pop it in and out and all. So I ordered the updated version of the camera I destroyed. I've had it for I guess about 4 years. Thinking about that, 3-4 years I've had that other one, and man, I about choked. But it's been such good quality. It's done me so good. But boy, it was almost $1,700, $1,600 and something to replace it, and the other one's not underneath warranty because it was already that old. So yeah, I'm a little sad over that, can't you tell? I'm a little sad over it. So everything's been off kilter lately because I haven't had my regular camera. It's real easy to download files and real smooth file transitions and all. I've got some other cameras, but it's always, I don't know. I just don't like their setup, you know. I don't like their setup. So I'm not real big on enjoying the action cams. I don't mind this one that I'm filming with right now, or say filming, old school talk, that I'm recording with right now. I like it on my helmet on my motorcycle. That's what I like it on. It's great for that. But as far as like going around shooting video with the vlog and not having to have extra mics, because that other one had quad mics in it that had a very smart software that would filter out or even realize if wind was blowing in one of them and shut that wind off of that mic, you know, shut that mic off. It was great, great. I wouldn't say if it shut it off or it just filtered it. So the new one that I've got coming is supposed to be even better than that. It's got an AI technology in it that's supposed to help out with those things even more. It should be here in the next couple of days and I can resume back to normal. But I'm going to keep these things far away from that salt water. Far away. That's just too much money to be losing right there, you know. I'm really sick over it. I am. And that's why you haven't been getting a lot of the detailed work and stuff recorded here recently. It's kind of a little off my game because I've got a camera down right now, the main one that I use. So I'm trying to get by with this other. It's just not what I enjoy to use. And let me tell you what else. The way the file format is on my other camera that got damaged, the codec on it, the tagging and all on it would land in that whatever Melinda recorded and whatever I recorded, I would dump them into the same folder. It would automatically chronologically lay out those files of what she recorded and what I recorded, and I didn't have to like figure out a timeline or nothing. Dump her files in, dump my files in, and they in the same folder. It would already be like if she was here doing something here and I was in the city or vice versa, and she's here recording and I'm there recording, it would look like when I'm editing like we're switching back and forth, but I didn't have to do that in editing. That was just by the tagging on it, you know, keeping up with the time and laying it in perfect. So I really like that too. Well, I see our guests are back up here and I'm gonna go up and visit with them. I know this has just been a little bit of yak. We'll see if there's anything else for this day. If there is, I'll add it on here. If not, we're gonna call this a day, and we'll hope for a better Tuesday. Today was still a good day, but we'll hope even for a better day tomorrow.